Profit, and I'm your host Himakshi Bahuguna.
And I'm Anushri Vakharia, and you can ask us all your queries. This is a show where you can ask on the WhatsApp numbers flashing below the screen. So feel free to WhatsApp us on the numbers there below. But with that, let's introduce our guest for today. We have Manish Chaudhary, who joins us on the fundamentals, and Gaurav Sharma joining us on the technicals. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Ask Profit.
Thank you and good evening.
Good evening. So I'll take the first query with you. This is John from Puducherry. He's bought about 30 shares of Birlasoft and he bought it at an average price of 436. And this was his position that he bought 2 years back. Currently, when he had seen a 90% of a gain but had failed to book those profits, now currently his position is flattish, wants to understand whether he should add at current prices or hold for more than a year. Manish, I'll take this up with you. What's your fundamental view on this stock? I think there is a audio issue going on with Manish. I believe that you're on mute. Yeah. Yes. Now you're audible. I hope the question was clear to you. It was on the fundamental take of Birlasoft.
Sorry, Anusha, I was not able to hear you.
Okay, let me just repeat the query for you. So John had bought about 30 shares of Birlasoft and he bought it at an average price of 436. This was 2 years back. At the period he was sitting at a gains of around 90%. But if you look at the current position, his position is flat. Right now, wants to understand whether he should add more to this or hold it for more than 1 year.
I think Birlasoft at the current levels looks good to add. I think the IT space overall has been under pressure, especially due to the uncertainty around the Trump tariff. But the overall the scenario for Birlasoft as well as other IT companies has not changed much post the third quarter earnings. And the third quarter earnings for most of the IT companies were giving initial hints of some green shoots. So my sense is that it is better to average more at this price. And I think from a 1 year perspective, it looks good to me.
And Gaurav, I'd like to come to you also for the short term. How is it, faring on the charts, and is it advisable to hold this particular company for short term?
See, it has, just like other IT companies, it has also witnessed some profit taking in the recent past. But the profit taking in this space has been little more and little longer. Currently, the share is quoting around 433 odd levels, and I see it going towards 460 to 480 zones, provided that it requires some support from the market as well. So yes, he can hold on to the levels, keeping a tight stop loss somewhere around 405 levels and look for targets close to 460 to 480 odd levels.
For that view, with that, we have another WhatsApp query. So Manikanta has written to us from Hyderabad saying that he's bought Texmaco Railway and Engineering, and he's been reading about the fundamentals of the company. So sorry, he has not bought, but he wants to buy it. So he's asking whether it's the right time to enter for 2 years. So he's looking for a long-term view on Texmaco Railway. And if we talk about the numbers also, so this quarter it was pretty strong. Order book stood at 7,600 crore. So Manish, coming straight to you, what do you have to say on Texmaco Railway? Are the fundamentals of this company, are you optimistic about it?
I think yes. I think the overall railway pack has been under pressure since the last 2 quarters or so. I think Texmaco Railway was also one of the contender which got beaten down in the last 3 to 4 months. But at the current price, I think the valuations looks good to me. I think it's trading at a TTM multiple of around 20x, and with the kind of order book it has, I think from here on execution would be a key, and I think with the capex from the government also coming in the next few months, I think the order book is going to increase as well. So again, at the current levels, from a 1 year perspective, Texmaco Railways looks good to me.
Manish, I want to bring up the overall railway sector in perspective here. Now, if we have seen what has happened, one is the valuations which were expensive. That's why we've seen the beating down of some of the counters which are there. Along with that, now if you look at the order perspective for some of these counters, that has majorly remained muted. Even if you see the railway budget, the allocation, we have not seen much of a growth. So I want to understand from that viewpoint, if you have any preferred place in the railway space that still look attractive, what's your overall take on this sector?
I think the overall railway space has corrected significantly from the highs, and as you rightly pointed out, that the overall order book for most of these players have been flattish. The main reason for this is the government capex since the April to December, mid December. I think the capex did not pick up, and it was also reflected on the overall order book of all these companies. From here on, at the current valuation, I feel execution would be the key for the earnings growth trajectory. The companies which execute well would command a higher premium in the overall railway space. And my top picks here would be, one would be RVNL, and second would be Titagarh Wagons.
Okay, RVNL and Titagarh, the preferred place in the railway space that we're looking at. But next up, moving to another query, is from Malika Arjun from Bengaluru. Oh, we have a caller joining us. That's Malika Arjun. Hi, Malika. How can we help you on the show today?
Hey, hi. So I have 200 shares of Bajaj Housing Finance at the rate of 157 average. So my viewpoint is like 3 years. Shall I hold it or shall I sell it?
And this is at what price did you get it at? If you can just confirm for the readers.
It's at 157. That is also average I have made.
Okay, 157 is the average price that we are seeing.
Yeah.
So, okay. And when did you buy these shares?
Like maybe in November.
Okay, in November. So, Manish, he wants to understand the 3-year perspective on a stock like Bajaj Housing Finance, currently facing a loss of over 8,000. Want to understand your take on the counter?
Bajaj Housing Finance, I think my sense is that at the current 112 levels or so, again, it is on the expensive side on a price to book multiple. I think there are better plays in terms of valuation available in the overall housing space. And I think it is better to exit Bajaj Housing Finance on the bounce, which I expect in the next few weeks in the overall market. So it is better to exit and move into something like a PNB Housing, which is trading around 1.2, 1.3 price to book value, vis-a-vis Bajaj Housing Finance, which is trading in the range of 4.5 to 5 price to book value. So I feel better to exit Bajaj Housing and move into PNB Housing in a similar space.
Okay, so exit Bajaj Housing and enter PNB Housing is what Manish is suggesting for long term. With that, we have a caller from Chennai. Hi, Munir. Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Yes, how can we help you, Munir?
Yes, I'm holding 250 shares of Reliance Industries
All right.
at the price of 1,250.
Yes.
I just want to know the short-term outlook of the share because currently the share is falling for the
Yes.
week,
And
actually.
I can see that you are sitting on a loss of over 18,000 rupees there.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah.
So, there's some major news coming up.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So first, let's address that.
Exactly.
And we'll come back to the query later.
So in some major news that is coming from RBI, the RBI will conduct over 1 lakh crore rupees worth open market operations in 2 tranches. Vishwanath Nair joins us with more details on this.
Right. So as the Reserve Bank of India is conducting various liquidity injection operations over the last couple of months, actually, now with the latest announcement coming in that about a 1 lakh crore open market operation, which will be done in 50,000 crore tranches, just 2 tranches of that. Alongside that, an important announcement is on the US dollar buy swap auction, which the RBI will conduct on the 24th of March. There again, it will be a $10 billion auction, which will be conducted for a period of 36 months. That's about 3 years. And that one is also very important because remember that the RBI has only recently conducted an auction on the 4th of March. They conducted a $10 billion auction for 3 years, and that's intended to supply more rupees or more rupee liquidity into the ecosystem, which is currently still at a deficit. Now, some estimates suggest that the deficit has since come down after the US dollar buy swap auction had been conducted, the last one. But it is expected that going ahead, you will see further reduction in liquidity, which will necessitate a liquidity injection from the Reserve Bank of India. Apart from all of this, the Reserve Bank of India is already conducting daily variable rate repo auctions, which are also intended to put more rupee liquidity in the ecosystem. A recent report by SBI Research had in fact suggested that the RBI will have to do significant amount of such liquidity infusions because there has been a lot of rupee usage in the economy. A lot of rupee money has been withdrawn from banks, especially for events like, for example, the Mahakumbh, where a lot of money was actually, a lot of cash was actually used to conduct transactions at this event. And on top of that, of course, there's government outflows, there's tax payments, all of this that is coming up closer to the end of the financial year. A lot of companies will pay their necessary taxes. So a lot of money will go out of people's hands and will end up in government accounts. So it's essential that the RBI provides this liquidity at the time that it is providing right now.
Vishwanath, just a follow-up on that, what is, if we have to sum it up in the three major takeaways from this measures that we are seeing from RBI, what is the key takeaway that we are seeing and the impact, the major impact on it?
Well, the key takeaway is simple. It's basically going to be large liquidity infusion from the Reserve Bank of India as we're reaching towards the end of the financial year, and that would mean that there will be a lot of rupee availability in the market. You might see in the forex market tomorrow, you might see the rupee weakening against the dollar a little bit, but it won't be that severe is what most traders are expecting. Having said that, of course, the RBI has been intervening heavily in the market to control that movement. As far as an impact is concerned, the thing is that currently the banking system needs that liquidity infusion so that we continue doing their business of lending to the economy. And it's clear that if the government intends to achieve its growth target for this financial year, then bank lending is an important component, and therefore these liquidity infusions will aid in that, which will then support overall growth.
Okay, well, thank you, Vishwanath, for all those details. Let me take it up to our guest also. Manish, I want to get your view now. This is not the first time that RBI has taken this measure to shore up the liquidity. What do you make up of this development?
I think the new governor which has come in, I think the one focus it has is boost up the growth. I think in the previous regime, I think my sense is that it was more towards inflation focused and a little lesser on the growth agenda. The new governor, I think he has come all in. I think be it the rate cut, which was done, be it the kind of liquidity measures through OMO, VRRs. I think the whole focus currently is to boost up the economic growth, which was a little under moderation in the second quarter. And we have seen that in the third quarter, the economy has come on a firmer footing. And with March being the last month of this financial year, I think it's a proactive step towards managing the liquidity, which usually is tight in the overall March month. So I think it's a good move. And I think we would see, my sense is that in the next few months, we could also see some credit growth picking up with the kind of liquidity infusion which has happened in the last 1 to 1.5 months by the RBI.
Yes, thanks for that view, Manish. With that, let's go back to our viewers' query. So Munir, was telling us that he's bought 250 shares of RIL at 1,250, and he's looking for a short-term view on it. So Gaurav, I'd like to come to you directly. Currently it's trading at 1,176, which is near to its one-year lows. And although it was down over 1% today, but what do you have to say on RIL for short-term? What's your view on it?
RIL recently it has come down to a level that is its crucial supports when we talk about and when we see at it on its medium long term charts, that is weekly and monthly charts. 11 50 55 is that support zone, and we are witnessing a bounce back here. 1 to 1.3% up move was witnessed today. I expect the stock to trade with a positive bias going ahead. Some more recovery is what I'm expecting, and a level close to 1320 can be expected in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, well, that's the view for Reliance Industries, is what we are seeing. Now, next we have a caller joining us, and this is Amit from Hyderabad. Hi, Amit. How can we help you on Ask Profit today?
Yeah, hello. Good evening.
I hope you're audible to us, Amit.
Yeah, can you hear me, ma'am? Hello.
Okay, so while there is some audio issue going on, let me just address the query over here. Amit from Hyderabad, he bought 400 shares of IDFC First Bank at a price of 30 and wants to understand the short-term outlook on this. Now, currently, he's sitting on a significant gains of around 11.2 lakhs. So firstly, congratulations, Amit, for making this kind of a profit. I'll come to you on this one, Ravi. What's the technical view for the stock?
Yes, as far as IDFC First is concerned, it has been quite an underperformer stock. They're currently quoting around 56, 58 odd levels, seen a recovery of about 2% in today's trade thanks to the up move in the broader indices. But overall, I really don't see any specific positive development on this stock. The only positive is it is currently trading around the support level. So I would suggest investor to just hold on to it, keeping a closing stop loss of around 55 odd levels. I don't see pretty much of a downside, but yes, as of now, no such bottom formation is visible at current range. So what is most important is the stock needs to consolidate around this 58 to 62 range, and once that is crossed, then it has potential to reach up to 68 odd levels. That happens to its a 200 period exponential moving average as well.
Gaurav,
right.
any just
Yeah.
a quick takeaway on that? Gaurav, any other place that we can look in the similar space?
Bandhan Bank is what I was looking at very closely today. From past couple of sessions, we have seen some recovery in this stock. Other than that, Axis Bank and Kotak Mahindra Bank are also on our radar, and we have been very closely monitoring them. Chart formations are pretty attractive for all the three stocks.
All right, thanks for that view. With that, let's go across to one more caller. So Sachin is calling us from Kerala. Hi Sachin, good evening. How can we help you?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah,
So
please
my
go ahead with
query
your
is
query.
regarding Trident Limited.
Right.
I hold 500 shares at an average price of 37. I'm looking for a 1 year perspective, and should I average it at this current level?
Okay.
And is it good to hold for long term?
Yeah, but I just want to ask you that why did you go for Trident?
Yeah, it is in the textile sector and it was doing well a couple of years before. I purchased this long back.
When did you purchase it?
2 years before.
Okay, okay.
And then it went up above my level, and then it came down, and it is not.
Yes.
Profit margins are not that great currently. So I just want to know if I could average at this level, and is it good to hold for long term?
Okay, okay. So Manish, for 1 year outlook, I'd come to you because you know it in its Q3 numbers also. So numbers weren't that great. Net profit was down over 26%. Revenue was also down. EBITDA was down over 21%. So what do you have to really say about this particular company? Is it advisable to hold it for another 1 year?
I think no. I think it is better to exit this counter, specifically because of I think around 60% of the revenues come from exports, and mainly to the US and the European nations. I think with the kind of uncertainty around the tariffs globally, I think it is better to avoid export-focused counters at this point in time till some clarity emerges on the tariff front. I feel it is better to exit Trident, and yes, that's my view.
Okay, so that's the view for Trident with that we are seeing. Next query is from Paramjeet. In fact, he's joining us. Paramjeet, how can we help you on the show?
Good evening, ma'am. I am having 5,000 shares of Mahindra Lifespace at the rate of 303. I want to know long-term as well as short-term view.
Paramjeet, so if I'm not mistaken, was there you've bought this at the low prices considering improving fundamentals? Want to just understand your viewpoint on for this counter?
This stock is in my watch list from the last 2 years.
Okay. Okay, so firstly, I'll take this up with Manish. Manish, your view on something like a Mahindra Lifespace developers. What's your view?
I think Mahindra Lifespace in the recent past has seen inline correction with the overall real estate space. I think the overall real estate space has seen some pain in the last few months, mainly due to 2-3 reasons. One is the project launches were a little on the slower side due to some issues on the regulatory front, approvals on the regulatory front. That was one. I think secondly, the kind of execution on ground was something which was holding most of these real estate companies back. But Mahindra Lifespace, I feel if someone is willing to hold it from a longer term perspective, I think it has all the right ingredients in terms of a mix of residential as well as commercial spaces in its overall portfolio mix. And with the company expecting to increase its GDV value by 5x in the next 5 years, I think if at least 50 to 60% of that comes into the execution part, I think Mahindra Lifespace is looking good for a re-rating at these current levels. So it's a buy from a 1 to 2 year perspective.
Favorable view for Mahindra Lifespace. In fact, I want to also take a technical check on this. Gaurav, what's your view on this counter?
Yeah, Mahindra Lifespace yesterday itself has formed a new 52-week low, somewhat around 302 odd levels. And what we have seen today is close to a 2% recovery. Not very attractive on chart fronts, but yes, if the stock is able to go past and sustain above 320 odd level, then yes, certainly some buying interest will add up, and that can fuel up the stock and rise it, take it towards 360 and 380 zone. So as of now, I would suggest to hold on to this stock, keeping a closing stop somewhere close to 285, and add the stock with a short-term view once it go passes 320 odd levels and look for targets close to 380.
That's the view on Mahindra Life by Gaurav. With that, we have a caller from Andhra Pradesh. Hi, Mansin. Good evening.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes,
Good
how
evening,
can we
ma'am.
help you?
Ma'am, I have bought Inox India shares, nearly 200 shares, madam, at average price of 1,155 rupees, madam.
Right.
I wish to know about the fundamental analysis and the technical analysis.
And when did you buy it exactly?
6 months back, madam.
Okay. So in just 6 months, you are sitting on a loss of almost 34,000. There is what I can see.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So since you're looking for both long-term and short-term, first I'd like to come to you, Gaurav. How are the prospects, faring on the charts for Inox India?
Yeah, Inox, some bottom formation is been seeing here, but going past 1,000 odd level would be a task for it, and if it is able to sustain above that level, especially on a closing basis for a couple of days, then only I would consider this stock for holding. I would suggest him to take a stop of around 880 on closing basis and hold the stock as of now. See if it is able to sustain above 1,000 odd levels. If it manages to go past that mark, then yes, a good recovery towards 1,200 is also quite possible.
Okay, well, that's the view for Inox India that we are seeing. But it's time that we slip into a short break. Keep sending your queries on WhatsApp and call in, right? We'll be right back for more such queries. Stay tuned to NDTV Profit for more updates.
Very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit Conclave. which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
A life which is both taking care of your material needs and taking care of your altruistic needs. That will be the true definition of Viksit Bharat.
In my view, we are already out of that slowdown.
For every anlom, you have to have vilom. You can't just keep doing up and up in the breathing also. You have to come down. So the correction and healthy correction is a very, very integral part of the market.
The private capital expenditure, from where I sit, I see that private capital expenditure is happening.
Any tariff coming on Indian goods will be passed on to American consumers and Indian companies will not be affected.
We feel fairly good about the fact that we can compete with various folks.
Actually, instead of Viksit Bharat, we should call it Re-Viksit Bharat.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
A life which is both taking care of your material needs and taking care of your altruistic needs. That will be the true definition of Viksit Bharat.
In my view, we are already out of that slowdown.
For every anlom, you have to have vilom. You can't just keep doing up and up in the breathing also. You have to come down. So the correction and healthy correction is a very, very integral part of the market.
The private capital expenditure, from where I sit, I see that private capital expenditure is happening.
Any tariff coming on Indian goods will be passed on to American consumers and Indian companies will not be affected.
We feel fairly good about the fact that we can compete with various folks.
Actually, instead of Viksit Bharat, we should call it Re-Viksit Bharat.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching Ask Profit, and we are joined by Mahesh and Gaurav on the fundamentals and technicals. So they are there to solve all your, queries. So what are you waiting for? Please pick up your phones and call us right away. With that, let's go across to a caller from Hyderabad. Hi, Ekam Baraya.
Good evening.
Good evening. How can we help you?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I am holding 25 shares of CDSL
All right.
at a rate of 13.15.
Okay.
Now I am seeing in this current present market situation, it is. I don't think it may reach my price in a short time.
But what
I
is
want
your
to
target
put
price?
Target price, I purchased 13, 15. I was expecting it will go to 1500.
Mm-hmm.
But now in this bear market, I don't think it will reach in near future.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of selling that and invest in either ITC or Varun Beverage.
Okay.
Please suggest me which I do.
Okay. And but when you started investing in CDSL, so were you looking for a long-term view, or are you a short-term investor?
Yeah, I am looking for 1 year.
Okay. Okay. And
But in the bear
and when
market,
did
I
you
got
buy
it out.
CDSL?
Recently, 2 months back.
Okay, 2 months back. All right. So, Manish, I'd like to come to you. He bought CDSL 2 months back at 1315, and currently, it's down. It's trading at 1139. So, do you suggest him to, hold this for another 1 year, or would you suggest him to switch to Varun Beverages or ITC?
I think my sense is that CDSL has been hit by the kind of fall in stock markets we have seen in the last 2.5, 3 months. I think market participants are fearing that the overall volumes in the capital markets would decrease, and most of the participants would move out because of the kind of drawdowns they have seen in the markets. But again, having said that, my sense is that those are all cycles in the capital markets, and if someone is willing to hold this from a longer term perspective, I do not find anything wrong with the counters CDSL. If you look at the profitability, it has been on a growing trend. The return ratios like ROE, ROC are fantastic, and with the correction the stock has seen from 1900 odd levels to I think 1140. I think from a longer term perspective, it looks good to me to hold this counter.
All right. And Gaurav, if you had to pick between CDSL, Varun Beverages, or ITC for short term, so what would you pick?
See, if it is a short-term trade, I would certainly go with Varun Beverages. It is clearly available at very attractive levels. Generally, what we see is the December quarter results are dismal for this, especially just because it is a beverage company, the largest distributor for PepsiCo in India. And it has also corrected pretty heavily just because what the sell-off seen in broader markets. Now it is currently available at 475. So I see a recovery coming in this stock in the immediate near future and in the coming quarters as well. So 520 to 550 is somewhat that can be expected in the next 3 to 5 months view.
Okay, Varun Beverages, the preferred play out of the three in the technical space. But next we have Setu joining us from Bangalore. Setu, how can we help you on the show today?
Yes, good evening to you.
Good evening.
My question is on the ABB. For the last few days, there is a interesting movement. So is that good to enter at this level? It was picked up all of a sudden, and I would like to know whether I could enter now. I don't hold any share, but when I invest, it will be a kind of a long term for a period of 2 years or 3 years.
Okay, so it's a long-term view that you're looking for, and you're just wishing to see if it's the correct levels to enter right now, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, Manish, let me take this one with you. ABB India in focus. Now we've seen the company's results also coming out just last month or so, in which while the revenue and the margin numbers, they continue to remain on the healthier side, it's the main concern was on the orders. But do you think it's the revenue and the margin growth will continue to outpace the order concerns which are cited by the business, because electrification and motion segments continue on the stronger side?
I think yes, order book execution would be the key from here for ABB India Limited. But again, my sense is in the last 3 months, most of the investors have turned it the hard way that valuation always plays a pivotal role when you are investing from a longer term perspective. Again, at these current levels of 5,300 odd, I think the valuation still does not looks very comfortable to me for investing from a longer term perspective. I think my view is to currently avoid ABB and and if someone wants to enter into a space, I think banking space at the current juncture look very lucrative from a valuation perspective. And in that space, I think Axis and SBI are my top picks.
To follow up on that, you said that valuations continue to be expensive. Is that the view for the overall capital goods sector? We have I'm talking with the likes of Cummins or Siemens India as well.
Correct. So I feel the kind of traction we have seen in the industrial space in the last 2.5 years, I think most of the positives for me are seemingly priced in at the current valuation levels. So I think from here on, a slight earnings miss for any of these counters could weigh heavily on the share price, because I think still they are trading in an expensive valuation zone. So I'm a little cautious on the overall cap good space at this point in time.
All right. So Manish is being a little cautious on this particular company. With that, we have a caller from Hyderabad. Hi, Subbarao.
Hello, madam.
Yes, good evening. How can we help you?
Good evening, madam. My question is, I am holding MOL at the rate of 430 for 6 months period.
Okay.
My question is, can I average it, or what will be your suggestion?
So you thought when you bought MOL, so were you looking for a short-term view only?
Another 6 months, madam.
Okay. So Rajesh, Gaurav, I'd like to come to you. MOIL recently came out with its business update in which the February manganese ore production was 1.53 lakh tons. The April-Feb sales was also up 3%. Then the exploratory core drilling was also up 20%. So overall, they were healthy numbers there. So what's your outlook on MOIL? Are the charts also looking positive at this juncture?
Yes, charts are looking pretty positive at this juncture. Stock is trading close to its support levels, which also provides us with a cushion. And I see it heading towards 375 and beyond in the near term, as a client, as the customer is suggesting that he is looking at a 6 months perspective. So even I would stretch it to even 420 odd levels. These are also possible. So yes, his query was whether he should consider averaging at current level. So I would say 50% of the quantity he should buy now, and remaining 50% he should add when the stock passes 360 odd levels, keeping a target of 420.
Okay, keep a target of 420 is what Gaurav is suggesting for MOIL. But next up, we have Mahesh joining from Mumbai. Hi, Mahesh. I hope.
Yes, hello. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, you're audible to us. Please state your query.
Yes, good evening. I have about 350 shares of Reliance Geo Finance. I got it about 2 months back at an average price of 350.
Right.
450 shares at 350 average price. I want to know whether I should hold on. I have a long-term view on it, but just wanted to check at current levels. Should I average it out by buying more, hold on, or sell?
Okay, so I believe that it's more than a 1-year outlook that you're looking for, right, for the counter?
Yes.
Okay. Manish, I want to take this up with you. Now, he's bought 450 shares at a price of 350 currently, facing a loss of 59,000 on the counter. What's your view? Should he continue to hold this one?
I think yes. I think the overall business of geofinance is in a nascent stage currently. I think it has all the right ingredients, be it the kind of management it has for its different verticals like consumer lending, AMC, the broking business. I think with the kind of management overseeing all these, I think for a 1 to 2 year perspective, I see the numbers coming in. And with the kind of financial backing and the parentage it has, I think capital access would not be an issue for this company for expanding its business. My sense is that, again, from a longer term perspective, I think he should hold this stock. And if he has the required capital, he can also consider buying additional quantities at the current levels as well.
All right, thanks for that view. With that, let's go across to a caller from Bengaluru. Hi, Ravi. How can we help you?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Please go ahead with your query.
Yeah, I have 2 lakhs rupees to invest.
Okay.
Please suggest me 2 stocks to invest for at least 2 years time period.
Okay.
And which can give at least 2x or 3x returns.
Okay. And have you narrowed down any particular sectors?
No.
Okay, okay. So, well, it's a very open-ended question, but, I'd like to, since he's asking for a 2-year view, but I'd still take both the technical view and the fundamental view. First, I'd like to come to you, Gaurav. What are your top picks? He is having a corpus of 2 lakh rupees there. So, which sectors, which stocks, which are those 2 stocks which he should be, investing in?
This is easier said than done because it's $1 million question. So since he has asked it, so the first one would indeed be Wipro. The stock has done all the good things in the past 2 years, done quite a lot of acquisitions as well, which are widespread, and they have started, yielding the fruits as of now. And as a research house, we see the stock outperforming its peers going ahead. Yes, I do not see it giving a 2x kind of a return, considering the kind of market cap and the weightage the stock holds. But yes, he can expect above average returns from this stock. Currently, it is quoting just under 300 odd levels. So what we can see it rising up to 400 by the year end. That's what I can see it.
Okay, okay. And Manish, what are your top picks?
I think at the current juncture, I think the large caps space looks relatively safer to me, both in terms of capital protection as well as valuation. So I would go and go with the large cap space. Within that, I think SBI looks very good to me at the current levels. Again, 2x from here in 2 years, looks a little difficult, but yes, I think a 20 to 25% per annum return on this counter from the current levels in next 2 years looks very good to me. The reason being the kind of franchise it has, the kind of valuation it is trading in, and the kind of deep value it has in its subsidiaries. I think SBI is the top pick from a 2-year perspective.
Okay, so these are the topics on the fundamental side that we are seeing. Next, let's shift focus back to the railway space, and this is what our next caller wants to ask us about. Manish from Pune joins us. Hi Manish, how can we help you on the show today?
Yeah, hi. This is Manish, and I am holding currently IRFC stock of around 1,000 quantity at the rate of 25 rupees. So I have bought this stock in the year 2022, and I just want to know what will the target price within a one year time frame, or whether I will sell this stock at the current price level.
Manish, first of all, congratulations for sitting on a very, very big profit of around 92 lakh. Yes. I just want to have a quick discussion. Okay.
No, this is 1,000 quantity. It's not 10,000.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm bad. I was just like, okay, 92,000. Yeah. So I just want to ask you, what was the reasoning behind entering this stock? If you can give us more details on this same.
So this was the initial public offer. So
okay.
I am invested in that, and I think this is supported by government. So that's why I have picked this stock on long-term basis.
Okay.
But at the current levels means it has gone up to 215 rupees. Now it is around 120 rupees. So
right.
So whether I should sell or whether I should stay invested in this stock.
Okay, let me take this across to Manish. So Manish from Manish is what we are looking at. What is your view on IRFC?
I think IRFC, the viewer is sitting on a profit of around 90,000 odd. I think it is better to book that profit in the counter, as I feel that again the valuation, even after such a huge correction, looks a little on the expensive side. And if you look at the earnings, I think in the last 3 years, the earnings on an annual basis has been mostly flattish. So again, with the price to book value of around 4x, I think the counter looks expensive, and my sense is it is better to exit this counter and book the profit which the viewer is sitting on.
Okay, thanks for that view on IRFC. With that, we have a WhatsApp query. So Tamil Selvan has written to us from France saying that he wants a long-term view on KNR Constructions. He has been reading about this particular company, and it's a very elaborated query. But overall, he just wants a 1-year outlook, and is it the right time to enter KNR Constructions? So Manish, again coming to you, how are the fundamentals of KNR Constructions looking like? Are you bullish on this particular company?
I think in the overall infra space, I think this is one of the best managed companies, and I am having a positive view on this counter. If you look at the recent quarter performance, it was a little on the lower side. I think the execution did not come in. But I think with the kind of order book it is sitting on and the kind of execution it has shown in the past years, I think at the current level, the valuation also looks attractive. The return ratios, I think, are fantastic. And I think in the overall infra space, KNR Construction is definitely a buy from a 1 to 2 year perspective.
Okay, and Gaurav, are the current levels attractive for short term as well?
Pretty much attractive. Stock is trading very close to the levels from where it started its recent up move and went up to 400 odd levels. It is quoting exactly around those levels. Good amount of retracement has already been witnessed. So it is just a wait and watch for this stock. And I think it is all set to rise up to around 250 to 60 odd levels in the immediate near term.
Okay, so that's the view for KNR Construction that we are seeing. Next, we have Audesh from Uttar Pradesh who wants to ask us. Hi, Audesh, how can we help you on the show today?
मैम मुझे एक स्टॉक के बारे में जानकारी चाहिए थी। मुझे जैसे आज न्यूज़ आप लोग के न्यूज़ से मुझे पता चला कि हीट वेव बढ़ने वाली है, तो एसी कंपोनेंट्स मेकिंग जो स्टॉक्स हैं उनमें काफ़ी ज़्यादा डिमांड आएंगी। तो मुझे एक ऐसा स्टॉक चाहिए था जिसमें काफ़ी अंडर वैल्यूड हो और कम प्राइस्ड हो।
तो आपने कौन से काउंटर के बारे में आप बात कर रहे थे? आप वापस अगर दोहरा सकते हो वो?
मैम एसी
कंपोनेंट्स, ओके। हाँ ठीक, ओके। तो आपको आज के न्यूज़ अपडेट जो शॉर्टेजेस और वो सब चल रहा है उसके बारे में आपको जानकारी चाहिए कि अगर कुछ
आज एनडीटीवी पे दिखा रहा था न्यूज़ में।
जी Manish, let me take this to you now. The view was the story covered was on there might be shortages on some of these AC components or companies which would be there, and this is after the kind of peak summer that we are looking forward. Want to understand from you any of those companies or the consumer durable spaces that could stand out on the back of this?
I think the overall consumer durable space, especially in the air conditioning side, I think most of the companies, be it Voltas, be it Blue Star, be it EPAC Durables, which is into the backward integration. I think most of these companies, I think, have already priced in the kind of the heat waves which we are expecting in the next 3 to 4 months. I think entering all these counters at the current levels may be a short-term tactic, but again, if someone is willing to from a longer-term perspective, I think most of the positives and most of the demand which is expected to come is already priced in at the current. So my sense is from a longer term perspective, it's better to avoid these counters because those are already trading at a fairly higher valuation.
Gaurav, want to take the same question with you as well. Is your view also similar to what the fundamental take is to avoid some of these counters which are there?
My view is little different. Is a general disclosure here. We have a coverage on with a buy rating on Voltas setting in. From a technical standpoint, I would like to name out 3 stocks from this space which look pretty much attractive to me at current levels. This is, yes, of course, Voltas is one. Number 2 is Blue Star, and the third one is Amber Enterprises. Amber Enterprises can be a surprise, a little expensive stock if the viewer can consider it for that matter. Currently trading around 5,800 odd levels. I see it moving towards 67, 6,800 and even 7,000 levels by the next month itself.
Okay, thanks for that view.
Stocks can be considered for a 1 to 2 months horizon.
All right. Now with that, we have a WhatsApp query. So Vamsi has written to us from Andhra Pradesh saying that he has IOCL 701 shares at 143 a piece, and he's looking for a long-term view on it. So currently the stock is trading at 122. It was since December, if we look, the chart has seen a downward trend, and he is sitting on a loss of almost 15,000 there. So Manish, coming to you for the long term, is it still advisable to hold this particular counter?
I think yes. I think from a longer term perspective, I think the crude oil prices at around 70. I feel that we are closer to the bottom in terms of crude oil prices. So I do not expect any further erosion in crude oil prices. As a result, I think most of these companies are looking poised to benefit from a 1 to 2 year perspective. And IOC also has an advantage of a higher dividend yield. So I think at the current price, I think it looks good to me from a 1 to 2 year perspective.
Okay, and Gaurav, are you also bullish on Indian Oil Corporation for short term?
It's pretty much bullish on Indian Oil and all the remaining two OMCs as well. Rightly quoted by Manish, close to a 10% dividend yield is pretty attractive.
Okay, so positive view is what we are seeing for IOCL. Now, next we have Sachin from Chennai, who wants to understand the view on LIC Housing Finance, whether it can be bought at the current levels. Gaurav, let me come to you on this one. What's your view?
Yes, the viewer can consider buying LIC at current levels, some quantity here, some quantity when the stock is able to surpass 550 odd levels. And the target that I am seeing it is close to 580 and then 600 in the next couple of weeks.
And Manish, your view on LIC Housing Finance?
I think yes, it's a hold for me as well. I think the valuation looks good. I think with the kind of rate cuts we expect from the RBI in the next 1 year, I think all these housing finance companies are poised to benefit from the higher demand which might come on the back of the rate cuts, and also the valuation looks very attractive to me. So it's a hold for me.
Okay, a hold for LIC Housing is what we are seeing. But thank you, Manish. Thank you, Gaurav, for joining us on the show today and taking up all the queries and giving us valuable suggestions on the same. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Ask Profit, but you do stay tuned in to a lots more coming up on the other side, and keep sending us more queries on the WhatsApp numbers which have been provided there.
Very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit Conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
A life which is both taking care of your material needs and taking care of your altruistic needs. That will be the true definition of Viksit Bharat.
In my view, we are already out of that slowdown.
For every unloam, you have to have vilom. You can't just keep doing up and up in the breading also. You have to come down. So the correction and healthy correction is a very, very integral part of the market.
The private capital expenditure, from where I sit, I see that private capital expenditure is happening.
Any tariff coming on Indian goods will be passed on to American consumers and Indian companies will not be affected.
We feel fairly good about the fact that we can compete with various folks.
Actually, instead of Viksit Bharat, we should call it Re-Viksit Bharat.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.